I hated many things about my life. I had a hard time being around humans, whether it was my team members or my patients or even my family. I was burnt out and I didn't know it. And throughout the years of our practice, we've been in practice for 16 years, we had interviewed a number of different consultants. And what we had found is that everybody just had one formula. And we didn't seem to fit that formula. So they said, okay, well, we could make you successful if, okay, erasing all the things that were important to us, until we found ourselves in a position where I took the class with Victoria and Bruce over the pandemic that put PDA on the map for me, and through the Foundations course, made the decision to follow through and become a PDA client. It's not just the amount of expertise that goes into planning of, or even starting to think of what it's like to work on my business as opposed to in our business. PDA is a tremendous support. It's whether I need to pick up the phone and call about having a difficult day, about drama in the office, about the numbers making or not making sense, about celebrating. Actually, there's a lot of emails and calls that I get to remind us to celebrate, but it all falls into the umbrella of tremendous support. It lessens the load. It lessens the burden. It reduces the amount of dislike I have towards humans, right? It reduces the amount of burnout. It elevates who I want to be. It elevates who I'm capable of being. It holds me accountable for all the things that you would normally write down that you wanted to do. And by the time you got home Monday morning after a seminar, all of a sudden you were too tired to implement them. The accountability and the support, the accountability for me is what was the best fit. PDA, unlike any other group, has met us where we were at. And we never found that before. Everybody had one formula. Okay, it didn't matter if you were a mom, it didn't matter if you worked part-time, it didn't matter what your aspirations were, it didn't matter if you wanted to go into part-time work or full-time work. Everybody had one formula, but that one formula can't be applied to everybody, and it couldn't be applied to us. And PDA met us where we were at, and that's what's made us successful. For those of you that may have heard of scheduling for productivity, the first time I heard about that concept, I thought, no, no way, this is not happening. This is just too difficult. I am not going to be able to get everybody on board. But we hired PDA. We made the commitment. I was offering to be accountable. And within 1 month of being with PDA, 1 month of putting in productive scheduling, in 1 month, we made enough money to pay the entire contract, the 18-month contract for PDA, and we wrote the check right then and there. That, who can say that? And that was a lot of money. That was about a 50% increase of our production at the time. More productive, but more importantly, more profitable. We're at a point now where within the last 2 years, we've doubled our production. And with everyone that I'm meeting here, everyone is in a different journey, at a different point in their journey. But whatever my goals were, even when I started making them earlier today, having met other PDA clients, having met other PDA faculty, the ceiling of what is possible grew up that much more. And if I could just give you a short example, you know, my big, hairy, audacious goal would have been to be a $3 million practice, until I met a doctor today that's a mom, that's a woman, who's at 6 million. All of a sudden, the ceiling just shattered. And even though I almost fell off the chair, I know what's possible, and I'm not afraid to make those goals because I have seen it happen with other people. And you know, you go to other events and you know, people talk, but people don't get honest, right? Nobody really wants to share numbers. This is very unique to PDA. and the openness and the vulnerability, and that I've come from here to come from there, that's really opened up my eyes to see what's possible, and I'm really looking forward to that. Now, whether it takes me 2 years or 6 years, I don't know, but I know that it's possible and it's been done. I'm a different person. I truly am a different person. I look at life differently. I look at my patients differently. Like I mentioned, I hated humans. I didn't have a lot of energy to spend on listening to patients because I was so burnt out. I look forward to helping my patients. I look forward to listening to my patients. I look forward to the 90-minute appointments that we have now carved out in our practice, which is different than the industry standard that seems to be going away from long appointments, shortening those appointments. We've lengthened them. But not just that, I'm a different person. I love life differently. I've come to a place where I know what to look for in team members, and I can reward them appropriately. When we started with PDA, we barely had enough money to make payroll. We barely had enough money to pay the people that are with us what they were worth. And today, with PDA's help, I'm able to fly 3 of my team members just for a weekend, not to come to the PDA class, but to hang out with us, to celebrate with us. And I'm really, really proud of that. But more, not just proud of that, I am really honored that I can give that to them. And I want to give that to them. And I hope to give that to them again and again and again in a different way. So it's not just about being profitable myself, but it's also rewarding the people that work so hard at elevating our practice, our patients, rewarding them, with time off, with trips, with, grab bag, and a fair salary and benefits and profit sharing. We could do that now, and we have a chance to do more of that moving into the future. I had a conversation earlier tonight with a young dentist, and I told her I would write you a check for $500,000 today to have started with PDA 10 years earlier. When you're that young or inexperienced, you simply don't know what you don't know, and you don't think you have the money, right, to pay someone to tell you what to do or how to do it. You think that if you learn enough, you can reinvent the wheel yourself. But there's no way you can replace 20 or 30 people's worth of a lifetime of experience with teaching you how to do things right the first time. And I can't change the past, right? I've made mistakes. I can't undo them. But I can look forward to the future. And one of the things that I look forward to doing is teaching the people that might have been 10 years or 20 years younger than me to look at things a little bit differently. And that is to say, get help. Get help early on. Don't wait. Don't come to this class one time and one time again before you make a decision to pull the trigger. I realize that it seems like an enormous investment, right? But in 1 month, we made enough to pay for 18 months of consulting. And every single month after that, it's been that much more of production and profitability every single month for 18 months. What is that up to, right? So I don't wait. Don't wait is where I'm coming from. It's not just about profitability. It's doing the right thing for the right reason. And actually having met Bruce and his endless giving, right, has taught me that it's not just about a return for my investment. And I'm really just speaking candidly. It's not just about paying for one thing and getting something else in return. The servitude that you lead with, which I learned from Victoria Peterson at PDA and Bruce, is not just about, there's also an honor in giving that, but despite what you give and however much you give, there's just so much more that comes back to you, right? And that's just another part of my own vision statement and my own mission statement. But I learned that here. And surrounding myself with the people that come here, like Chad and Wade, it just, every time I come here, I come back reaffirming whatever I was too tired to give the Friday before. I'm discompassionate about where dentistry is heading today. I worry. There's a study that recently came out about the more debt you have, the more you treatment plan, whether it's ethical or unethical. And that worries me about where we're at. And the whole thing with PDA is, yes, it's about profitability, but it's also, as Bruce said, doing the right thing for the right reason, right? Do good while doing good is where we all end up, where we all should end up. That's the reason why we got into it. So why would we ever stop, right? But with providing profitability, with laying the groundwork for that, we actually have the wiggle room to do better and to be better without expecting a financial return, right, in exchange. You know, with Victoria and Bruce, you've got two different brains. And I think they both create this incredible marriage. And, you know, how they choose to disperse that energy into the people that then coach us, it really comes through. And it allows you to sit down. What Bruce and Victoria did for me in their first foundations class is they made me sit down and plan out the first 24 months, the next 24 months of what I wanted my practice to be. And we are about to be 24 months with you as a coaching program. And we hit those goals 6 months ago. And when I made those goals, I thought, holy crap, this is never going to happen. And yet, look, it did 18 months later, it happened. So now when I make my goals, I suppose I could make them bigger, but you know, there's still that fear of a ceiling. But you just, the encouragement and what's possible for the right reason, with the right people, is really what shines through.